It's a Tuesday game night in Calgary. We've got a rivalry renewed as the 4-15 Calgary Surge and 12-7 Vancouver Bandits prepare to face each other for the fourth and final time this regular season. Of course, Calgary pulled off a couple of shocking wins in the last two meetings between these teams. Vancouver already has a playoff berth locked up, but a Bandits win tonight, combined with a Saskatoon loss to Edmonton, would ensure a home playoff date for the Bandits. Meanwhile, Calgary is basically in must-win territory after they had a 4-game winning streak snapped in dominant fashion by the Mamba on Sunday. I'm Cammie Kepi on the sidelines, joined by the voices of the Surge, Mitch Peacock and Jermaine Cummings. Guys, the Surge know they need more intensity and a near-perfect finish to the season if they want a shot at catching Edmonton for the fourth and final playoff berth in the West.
Yeah, there's no question about it. The margin for error very slim for the Calgary Surge right now. Everybody's talking about playoffs and trying to get to the playoffs, but I think Isaiah Fox of Saskatoon said it best here on Sunday. These are playoff games right now. It matters so much that the teams know they've got to be at their very best.
When you get down to this point of the regular season and teams are jockeying for postseason position, Mitch, like you just referred to, Isaiah Fox said it the best. Every possession matters, every quarter matters, and definitely every game matters just as much right now as it will come to playoffs.
Let's get to the matchup stats, and when you look at the stats for these two teams, they don't look like a great matchup when they get the numbers on paper, because Vancouver has been so impressive this season. They lead the league in points for, they lead the league in field goal percentage, they lead the league in free throws. They are an outstanding team, and the Surge know that, but they also know, the Calgary Surge, that the last two times these teams met, they've had the better numbers when it matters most on the scoreboard.
Just goes to show you, this is a game all about matchups. You see those gaudy offensive numbers right now from the Vancouver Bandits, but when you're able to ring off 2 in a row against the West best, that gives you a little something extra. And right now, the Surge despite losing the last game, are playing elevated right now, and they're going to need to continue that elevation to get the dub here tonight.
For more on this one, let's catch up with Cammy, standing by with interim head coach Dave DeViro.
That's interim head coach Dave DeViro. Mitch and Jermaine have your keys to the game after this. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Hello, Canada. Welcome to a new CEBL season.
It's been amazing, Canada basketball, for that platform and give guys an out.
The crowds were bigger, the players got better, the quality of the game got better.
You gotta love it, Canadian Goose.
Fasten your seatbelt tonight because we're gonna have some high energy and some high flying stuff.
This is the trail, this is the real, it's all that I gotta say. I'm in my zone.
No shortage of emotion, no shortage of intensity as anticipated.
Instant hydration.
Back to Calgary at Winsport Event Center. Mitch Peacock, Jermaine Cummings, Cammy Kempke getting you ready for the Calgary Surge and the Vancouver Bandits for the final time in the regular season. Calgary leading the season series 2-1 after taking the last 2 games between these 2 ball clubs. Let's get to the keys to the game. We'll start with Vancouver, and they are presented by CDIC.
To get the dub tonight, the Bandits have to be the aggressor and finesser. In 3 games against the Calgary Surge this season, the Bandits are averaging 9 makes on 13 free throw attempts. Vancouver needs to step up the aggression on offense a little bit and get to the line and have the finesse to knock them down when they do. Secondly, pace in your face. The Bandits didn't become the league's highest-ranked offense by pounding the rock and waiting for their opportunities to appear. Their 99-point-per-game average comes from a mindset that looked to strike early and often. See if you can bump up that point-per-game average here tonight by flying around and making it easy. And finally, shareables on the menu. In the Bandits' unbelievable comeback victory against Montreal last Friday, they set the standard of how you're supposed to handle target score time. Off-ball movements and a willingness to swing the basketball kept the Alliance defense a step behind. If Vancouver can keep up its giving ways tonight, it could prove to be very troublesome for the Surge.
Vancouver so impressive in fighting back for the victory against the Alliance. All right, here are the keys for the home side, your Calgary Surge, also brought to you by CDIC.
And to end here, 4 transition points in Sunday's loss to the Mamba puts a 17-point loss in perspective, doesn't it? Calgary has to run flat out, and the Bandits have to be chasing tonight. Secondly, stall the 3-ball. The Surge are lights out from deep over the last 5 games, but the power of the deep ball gets negated if you turn around and give up a 3-point at the other end. Make sure your triples are meaning even more by running Vancouver off the line on defense and forcing them inside. And finally, pro-grade preparation. In the post-game presser on Sunday, Dave DeViro hinted at his guys not necessarily being game ready when they weren't able to get a game speed practice in first. The Surge need to come out of the gates mean tonight and prove that regardless of any external circumstances being less than ideal, once that ball is tipped, they're ready to fire it.
Yeah, you know they're keyed up for the opener for this one. They cannot repeat what they did on Sunday. Here's a look at the starting lineups for these two teams going into this one tonight. And there are 3 changes for the Vancouver Bandits. Shamar Gibbons, Jarrell Eddy, and James Carnick come into the starting lineup. They join holdovers Tevin Brown and Tyrese Samuel. For the Calgary Surge, a change as well. And that is Matthew Kumba stepping into the first 5, replacing Adonis Arms. Our players to watch and focus as we move things along the pregame show. We begin with Vancouver's Tyrese Samuel having another outstanding season, up over 18 points a game, 9 rebounds a game as well.
Yeah, and guess what, Mitch? How about these shooting numbers? 35% from 3 for Tyrese Samuel and a 71% free throw shooter. The guy's got offense for days, and he's definitely the emotional leader of this team. As he goes, the Vancouver Bandits go, so it should not surprise you why Vancouver's been so successful this season. It's Tyrese Samuel doing his thing.
I mentioned Adonis Arms is not starting this game, but you still have him in focus as a key player for the Calgary Surge. Tell us why.
Most certainly. Adonis is the emotional leader of this team. He's the glue. If you spend any time around this Calgary team, you know what he brings to you. And to have him off your bench, I like this decision here from Dave DeViro because he's a guy you can trust. And even when he's not necessarily shooting the ball well, like he is now, you know he's always going to play hard on defense, and he's always going to make sure to rebound the basketball. Second leading rebounder here on the Calgary Surge this season. Lets you know his doggedness to get to it. So I'm very excited to see what Adonis is able to add today coming off the bench.
Adonis Arms is an athlete who's very hard on himself, very demanding of himself. And sometimes when it's not going well, that can throw you off a little bit. So if he's coming off the bench, I think the pressure's off just a little bit. He can relax, he can let himself be himself, and I think good things are going to happen for Adonis Arms and the Calgary Surge. As we get a little closer to tipping this one off, the Calgary Surge at 5-14 on the year, sitting 5th in the 5-team Western Conference. The Vancouver Bandits at 12-7. They are 2nd in the Western Conference, just in behind the Winnipeg Sea Bears. The official game ball of the CEBL is Spalding, and you see the Spalding there in the hands of our crew chief for this one tonight as they're getting ready to get to work. Leading the way, Greg Spagnoli. And the two teams are set for action. It is a matchup that everybody eagerly anticipates when they get together. These teams not fans of one another, is a polite way of saying it. Calgary leads the season series 2-1. They have knocked Vancouver out in the playoffs 2 times in the last 3 years. And here they go again with a lot riding on it as the Bandits push for top spot of the Surge, try to keep those hopes of a playoff place alive. They are on their feet at Winsport Event Center in Calgary as we get this one underway. Game 20 on the season for the two teams. And possession to the home side. Cheney gets it in the hands of Joplin. Comba across for Brown, the Surge. Moving it around on this opening possession, looking for a good shot. Rugsy Miller-Moore knows a good shot when he sees one, tries one there. A trademark effort, just a little short. And the Bandits take over. Rugsy with 21 on Sunday. He's the 2nd all-time leading scorer in CEBL history. Gibbons. Carnick picking it up. Carnick up and over Joplin. And the Bandits strike first. A little shot there from Carnick about the matchup.
Giving him a little too small, and why not if you're James Carnick? Only 1 game so far in the CEBL this season. Oh, he was went for a light 14-10. You like that?
14-10 for Carnick, who scored to get things going here, and Amani Cheney answers back in a way that he knows how with a 3. 3-2 Calgary, just getting started. Effort from the perimeter, chest off from the hot-shooting Tevin Brown, who had 7 points in the victory against Montreal, is capable of really lighting it up from beyond the arc. Joplin out of Marquette. Only had 6 shots on Sunday. He'd like to shoot it more. There's one. Found the iron on the backside. The Surge will get a second chance. Inside, here goes Joplin. Glass and good.
Like to see it right there. The second chance opportunity goes for the Calgary Surge by Armani Cheney, hitting the cutting David Joplin, and that's how you get on the score.
Surge 3-6 at home. The Bandits 5-4 on the road. Carnick had it stripped away by Cheney. Ruggsy Miller-Moore trying to find his way to the inside, and that's a slick finish.
That is a great finish, but how about the defense from Amani Chaney just before? Karnik went for his third basket underneath, thought he had a mouse in the house situation. Chaney said, pop that thing loose and let's get to running.
Surge, 4 straight victories coming into the game on Sunday, trying to get back on the beam here with very little room for error down the stretch in hopes of recovering from 0-10 to make the playoffs. Kumba looking to the inside, didn't force the pass. Chaney will try the long 3, just off the mark. And the Surge will regroup defensively.
Smart way to put it right there. Regrouping defensively is what they're going to have to do. 3 possessions down the floor. You're seeing both the effect of Tyrese Samuel and James Karnik on the interior. How do you handle these two?
Lots of size here for Vancouver from the start. Surge finding a way to get to the rebound, now finding a way to start up the attack. A long pass intended for Javonte Brown was just a little too high and wide. And again, the Surge will get into the backcourt and get themselves set to go. Your officials for this one include the crew chief, that man, Greg Spagnoli. And the umpires are Joe Lamb and Carl Artis Jr. Just nicely underway in the Stampede City. Last time these teams played was during the Stampede at the Saddle Dome, more than 5,100 in attendance. Karnik finds his way to the rebound. Wrestles it away from Javonte Brown. Gibbons wants it, too strong. And Miller-Moore advances it. Ruggsy Miller-Moore at a Grand Canyon. To the perimeter. Chaney. Chaney feeling it early on, just looking for some consistency. Inside for Karnik. Karnik played in the top division in Spain this past season, at least in part. Javonte Brown in the second division in Spain as Gibbons strikes. Got a 7-6 ball game.
And you see a little bit of James Karnik showing that, facilitating as well. When you're coming out of the gates and you're already 2 for 2 on the game, defenses are going to collapse. So what do you do if you're Shamar Gibbons? Cut to the basket and let Karnik find you on the move.
Up top looking for Javonte Brown. He had to take it on the floor. Now he'll go up with the left hand, in and out. And he'll recover. Right back at it. Glass and scores. Javonte Brown hanging in there. Javonte having a terrific season his second year in the CEBL. Leads the league in field goal percentage.
The transition D is going to have to be top of mind here for the Surge. Whether it's Samuel or Karnik, Vancouver is sending that size into the inside, looking to take advantage of disparities.
So the Surge, who wanted to start better than they did the last game, have started. It's a competitive opening to this one, but as you talked about, the intensity needs to be there. That was the real foundation of the 4-game win streak. During that period, they conceded just 82.3 points per game and forced the opposition to shoot under 40% from the field.
Amazing. Amazing numbers. Holding any team to under 82 in this league is not something to snuff at. So Calgary's doing a great job defensively as part of this streak.
Big bodies coming together there. Javonte Brown in a collision with Samuel. Want to remind you that all Western Conference action in the CEBL is brought to you courtesy of Cal Tire. Cal Tire, proud sponsors of CEBL Western Conference play. David Joplin coming out, Marlon Johnson stepping in. The Surge also during that win streak really showed off their depth. And there was a confidence. They had 8 or 9 players who'd come in and make equal contributions. Marlon Johnson, one of those players with a couple of championships on his resume, and come in now and see if he can help this early effort against Vancouver. Samuel striking from the free throw line. Tyrese, a 71% foul shooter on the season. He checks out. Karnik also out of the game. Joyner in, Pandy in, along with Eddie, Parolin, and Brown. Back for Chaney, did well to pick it up. Now gets it to the perimeter. Miller-Moore thinking 3, goes way up top for that one. And it is right through the bottom.
Yeah, how about Miller-Moore getting a little bit of air underneath that 3-point attempt? And that's a good sign for him as well. When he comes out of the gate shooting confidently, that completely turns the defense on its head in regard to guarding a guy like Sean Miller-Moore.
Surge by 2. Joyner having a fine season, averaging 19 a game, leading these Bandits. Eddie in his second game with the team, inside for Parolin, couldn't finish it. Now Parolin hangs around, and when he get that one to go, he won't, but Pandy makes sure the Bandits score on the trip.
Slip slide and nobody on Lloyd Pandy, and it's 2 on the second chance opportunity. How about him getting to it?
Wins over Edmonton and Montreal coming in for the Bandits. Surge falling 116-99 against Saskatoon Sunday. Here's Miller Moore. Into the hands of Brown. Brown ahead, taken quickly. Transition with pace here. Joyner setting up shop. Joyner to the inside. Parolin against Javonte Brown. And from the corner, another Brown. And that's how you do it.
Feel the slot, get to the corner, and knock down after the penetration. Great offensive set right there for the Bandits.
Combo for Miller Moore. Marlon Johnson likes the look of that one and makes the most of it.
When your size can step out to the three-point line and consistently knock down threes, that gives you so many different options as regards to looks on offense. And Marlon Johnson has got a stroke from right.
Surge getting back defensively here. Now trying to react, and Javonte Brown gets up there with a big block. Averaging over a block a game, Javonte Brown. Matthew Kamba's been shooting well lately, and that hasn't changed.
There's anyone in the league right now shooting the three ball better than Matthew Kamba, whether it's off the dribble, of course he's stepping to his own, or catch and shoot. MK's got it going from yards.
48% plus from beyond the arc for Kamba coming into the game. There's a good battle level from Marlon Johnson, who was pushed there by Eddie, and the whistle blows, and Calgary will work back the other direction.
Back 7, hold.
Jarrell Eddy with the foul, playing his second game in the CEBL. He's going to take a break. The two teams have stepped aside as we work into the back half of the opening quarter. The Surge with a 3-point advantage in Calgary. You're watching Canada's Pro Basketball League, and it's live on CBC Gym, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Back to Calgary, Surge by 3 coming out of a timeout here, getting deep into the opening quarter. We invite you to scan the QR code for your chance to win the ultimate CEBL Finals trip, courtesy of redtag.ca. You could score round-trip flights, a 2-night hotel stay, and courtside seats to the CEBL Finals. Visit cebl.ca/redtag for more details. What a prize that is. These two teams hoping to be involved at that stage of the season. Surge know they've got to make the playoffs first. Addy Patterson into the game. Sincari is as well. Surge by 3. Vancouver with a big lineup at times, and they've had the edge in the paint so far. But the Surge have done enough to get themselves an advantage.
Yeah, and if you're Calgary, you already know you're not going to necessarily match up size-wise with the Bandits inside. So speed has to be top of mind here for Calgary coming out of this timeout. Got to make sure those switches are on time as well. Can't get caught up in those big lumbering screens that this front court for Vancouver is going to be setting.
Brown tried one there, but it was under duress, and the Surge will keep them off the scoreboard that possession. Sincari driving. Carey looks to the outside, finds a man, but he is called for the travel. A little indecision there, perhaps, as Carey took flight. And the Bandits have the basketball.
It's a great Vancouver job of packing those passing lanes, giving Carey nowhere to go, essentially, and having to come down with 1 foot.
Carey had 11 points and 9 assists on the game on the weekend. Played just over 25 minutes. That's another example of the depth the Surge have. Here's Samuel from long range. Brown quickly to the rebound. Matty Patterson, a rare down night offensively against Saskatoon, having an outstanding rookie season. Carey ran into traffic, goes back the other way, makes a little room. It's not easy to make that room, and Javonte Brown will help him out by finishing off the trip with 2.
Great job by Javonte, staying alert, staying with it. Draped all over Sincere Carey was that Vancouver defense, but second chance opportunity with a little bit of luck by Javonte Brown.
Marlon Johnson got in there. It looked like he took a shot on the hand. And he's down in some discomfort, working really hard to get into a good position defensively. There was Marlon, and there was a coming together.
Yeah, never easy going up against this front court here for Vancouver. But I tell you, Marlon Johnson popped back up like it was nothing at all.
Grabbing at the rib cage. I thought it was his hand, but there was body to body there too, and I think maybe just a little bit of the wind knocked out of him. But there's a guy who's been around the block and still likes to roll up his sleeves and get after it. You got to respect that.
Most certainly. Marlon Johnson not only a leader off the floor, but on it as well. Take that pain, suck it up real quick, and get right back to business.
32 years of age, played in Saudi Arabia, Mongolia, and Venezuela. On his way to Calgary this summer. Carey working there against Gibbons. Carey on the move. Carey putting it up top. Callum Swanton-Roger into the game with the mask for that broken nose, and he is relentless. Draws the foul. Cal Tire, proud partner, a tire expert of the CEBL. Shop top tire brands, have peace of mind with Cal Tire's price match guarantee. Shop and book now at caltire.com.
Despite missing last game, now we see Swanton-Roger in the game, and he's got the assignment of having to keep James Karnick out of that restricted area. Not going to be easy, but you know the youngster's up for it.
Ooh, off the inbounds play, Matty Patterson finds a way to swirl around and get it to drop. Yeah, that's a big assignment for Callum Swanton-Roger, no question about it. Gibbons, too strong. Karnick finds the rebound, gets it back to Gibbons. Mulder with an open look, and that's good.
That's what he's here for. Michael Mulder, we already know the shooting stroke is on another level, especially when he's a release valve after driving kick. Way too easy for Mulder.
Former NBA player, Mulder, striking there. The surge, boy, that looked good. Rattled around, it just didn't drop for Adonis Arms. Inside for Samuel, and hold on a minute here. Is there an offensive foul?
There is. Clearing out a little bit of space. 2 hands there on the hip of Marlon Johnson, and that is indeed going to be an offensive foul.
That's the first on Samuel. That's the good news for Vancouver. 40 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Calgary doesn't look like they're hurrying here for 2 for 1 as Arms takes possession. Arms to Carey. Carey against Gibbons. Gibbons doing a nice job to get in the way. Up with the left hand though, and the Surge trying to find a way to get it to drop. It looked like they had done enough there with Swanton-Roger battling. That just didn't go, but he does find a way to get possession for the home side.
That he does, and you like how aggressive Callum Swanton-Roger is being here in this game to this point. A lot of times when you're coming in with any kind of facial injury at all, you're a little tentative to get in. Not the case with him. Putting his face right in there and getting possessions out of nothing.
Yeah, I think I'd be a little shy. He obviously is experienced in the trenches. How about that for a touch?
Tim Carey getting a wide open look, and it has not come easy as him and Shavar Gibbons going back and forth right now.
Bandits looking for something here as the quarter comes to a close, but they're down to the final second. And a 7-point Calgary advantage. So baseline out of bounds, Shamar Gibbons hoping for something lightning quick here. And we got action before the ball's put back into play. Calgary's going to take over.
Yep, easy call you made right there. Mulder was trying to lose some space by going around the screen from James Karnick. The only problem was Karnick did not have those feet set. Moving those feet, easy offensive foul.
Dave, DeViro looking on, he had a smile on his face as his team was able to get a call to go their way there and get possession without conceding late on in the first 10 minutes. Inbounds Patterson. Patterson will let the time disappear, and the Surge are a quarter of the way through this one and holding a 7-point advantage over the Vancouver Bandits on a big night for both of these teams. You're watching CEBL Basketball Live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Welcome back to Calgary. The Surge up 25-18 after the first quarter. So when you're playing 3 games in 5 days, you need all the bodies you could get. 7-foot forward Roger is back in after missing the last 2 matches with a broken nose. Winnipeg Tillman Jr. just caught him up high, but this is the 4th time Swanton Roger has broken his nose, but he was so eager to play, he called up Old Dominion University to get his custom mask sent up. It's still on the way, so Dave DeViro tracked down the one that he'll use in the meantime because, you know, safety never takes a holiday. But Calgary's going to be leaning on him to really utilize his size and physicality. I asked him how he was feeling before the game, and he said he can dunk, and that's all that matters. Mitch?
That's all that matters. Yeah, if you're a basketball player and that's how you pay your bills, that is all that matters, is can you be productive. He's a gamer. He wants to be out there. He'll do what it takes. And yes, he's out there now with the mask that Cammie was talking about. No stranger to playing in these situations. And, well, you know, if you had a mask at Maryland and you had a mask at Old Dominion, now they got you a mask at Calgary, that this is not new. You know how to handle these situations.
Yeah, you've taken a touch or two up high for Cal, but boy, he's Calgary tough, like myself. We're just a little bit different over here in Calgary. Get him back in the game, just throw on a little mask, a la LeBron 2011.
Are you going to wear your mask next game?
Well, wouldn't you like to know? Might keep that close to the vest. We'll find out. You have to tune in to know.
We'll see what happens on Friday night. In the meantime, good battle level there from Swanton Roger as he got in the thick of it. The Surge trying to get possession. So there will be a foul on Callum. His first season as a professional, and just absolutely delighted to be playing pro basketball in his hometown. He talked about it when these two teams met during the Stampede, how special it was to be in this situation, and he is soaking up every second. Samuel moving it along. Mulder with a look from deep, and he is on point tonight.
Ball rotation around the perimeter into the hands of Mulder, and that means it's 3 points guaranteed. That Calgary defense has got to be on a string a little bit more efficiently here to get in his face.
Michael Mulder had 25 against Edmondson back on the 12th as Gibbons takes one for the team. And the Bandits are back within 4 and trying to trim it a little further. 2 on Callum. He's going to sit down, and in comes Javonte Brown.
What happens when you're going against active bigs? Fouls start to pile up a little bit. Shamar Gibbons, you know, got bumped a little bit. Make sure the officials saw that as well. And just like that, Callum's got to take a seat.
Kind of learning on the job for Callum as well, understanding how to compete without fouling, and some of the tricks of the trade for the more senior players. Here's Gibbons driving. Gibbons got up there, but he was turned away. Joplin with a nice bit of defensive work. Mulder now feeling the pressure from Patterson. He goes up and over deep on the clock. That one doesn't go, but Karnick gets to it, and Brown wraps him up.
Look at James Karnick, 2026 version. He's always been a big, strong, athletic guy, but now you see him being someone they can rely on for offense, whether it's him getting second chance opportunities or running plays right now. This is a different James Karnick than we've seen in the past in the CEBL.
Represents Czechia internationally, James Karnik. Real presence for the national team. 3 early fouls in the quarter here for Calgary. Brown trying to find a little space. Givens back in control. Out of Texas El Paso to the inside. Karnik just couldn't find it in the air. Joplin was tight, and that made it tougher.
And that's the difference right there. If you're Joplin, you don't leave Karnik's side. You already know he's going to be dipping to the basket. So a great job there by Jop, staying in between the passer and the receiver, creating a turnover.
Givens trying to make it tough on Carey. Picked him up early, stays with him end to end. Ball gets away from Sincere Carey, but it will stay with Calgary. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Calgary had 5 made threes in that opening quarter. It's really become part of their offense after a difficult start to the season.
Yeah, that's major. To develop a three-point shot midway through a season is not something you see too often, but the Surge have definitely gone and done it here this year.
Personnel changes, a big part of that. One of the newcomers cashing in there, Sincere, finding a way.
He'll give you threes, and he'll definitely get to the inside as well. This matchup between Givens and Carey is definitely proving to be up to the bit.
Karnik all kinds of time, tried his luck from long range. Surge take it back. Now can they get back into the front court and make something happen? Little time here for Joplin, and yes, sir!
Major. Sincere once again set that up perfectly what you want to do.
Sincere conducting the orchestra. Saw a tremendous performance here at the guard position from Tavian Dunmartin on Sunday. The Surge with some quality guards here. Aggressive defensively. Adonis arms there, but ball got away from him, and the Bandits cash in. Driving here is Patterson. Energy looks good from the Surge. Much better than on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, you like that, especially coming after a loss. You're not too sure how a team is going to bounce back, but if the energy is up, that's one thing you don't necessarily have to dig out of your guys if you're able to do that.
Look from the corner, a tough look, and my goodness, what a stroke that is.
Next level, once again. Filling the slot and knocking down a corner three is a move here for the Bandits, and that's what's got him in this game still.
Tevin Brown with a 3 from the corner under all kinds of discomfort, and it's a 4-point ball game in Calgary. Stay with us. Much more to come. This is the CEBL, and it's live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Vancouver Bandits were held to just 18 points in the opening quarter, but they've outscored Calgary 8-5 here in this second quarter. We got a 4-point ball game as a consequence. Mitch Peacock, Jermaine Cummings, Cammy Kempke with you. Talked about that size in that Vancouver lineup, and they have been using it to their advantage on the offensive glass to this point.
That's right. Already 8 offensive rebounds to this point for the Bandits, and you watch them on offensive sets, and it's no surprise why they've been able to rack up so many. It's Karnik up front. It's guys like Samuel up front. It's even Shamar Givens getting in and snatching in an offensive rebound or 2. That's what you want on the defensive end if you're Vancouver Bandits.
And well positioned there. The Bandits coming up with it. Chance to go back to work in that front court. Jarkel Joyner, very patient, assessing the circumstances. Lots of traffic underneath the basket. Samuel comes up with it, guarded closely by Javonte Brown. 5 seconds to shoot now. Samuel trying to get up. He goes up and over. And that's very efficient.
Perfectly executed right there. Samuel didn't get the ball necessarily where he wanted it, so he goes back out for a reset, takes a huge step into that restricted area, gets it back, and goes to work.
Brown to the inside for Joplin, who was tied up there by Jarrell Eddy. And the whistle blows against the Bandits. New Era is the exclusive game uniform partner of the CEBL and all 10 of its teams from coast to coast. Pick up your official replica jerseys now by visiting CEBL.ca. Muggsy Miller-Moore into Javonte Brown, Armani Chaney, Matthew Kumba, and Dave Joplin routing things out for the home side as the guests get control back with a chance to tie or take the lead. Brown put the brakes on, steps back, calls his own number, hits front iron, and Chaney, quickest to it, does nicely. Gets it ahead, picked off, and there are numbers for the Bandits. Brown pursued by Joplin, went up and used the glass to cash in.
And that's what happens when you try to get cross-court passes through. Picked off, and you're able to get back on the offensive side, use those numbers, get you an easy turn.
These are the best two teams in the league in terms of looking after the basketball, fewest turnovers. Comba, that one was interfered with just a little after he let it go. Was it a block? Was it a foul? The officials sorting through it here. It's going to be Serge ball. There's no foul.
Carnick got a piece of that one.
He did get a piece of it. Good defending by Carnick. Serge, we're doing some lobbying for a foul. Here's Joplin. 5 seconds to get the shot away. Joplin finds the rim, and then it goes into the hands of Jarkel Joyner. 19 points a game this season for Van City. Carnick straight away. Tried this a little bit ago. Tries it again. That's off the mark, but Samuel's there to catch it. They've got size to deal with these sorts of things. Carnick got there, tapped it to Pandy, and the size pays off.
It sure does. Whether it's Samuel, Carnick, Pandy, everybody in orange tonight getting into the key and securing those offensive rebounds.
Joplin, Miller-Moore. That one's good. Ruggsy feeling it from deep tonight.
I tell you, I think Ruggsy really found the hot spot right there at the 45 degrees, because that one was contested by Samuel, but all that loft underneath that ball made it way too easy for 0-0.
Slot three off the rafters. His go-to move. Mid-ranger falls for Carnick. So back and forth they go, but the Bandits nudging in front. Bandits were down 7 after the opening 10. Bandits pushing to secure a home playoff spot. Still in the mix for first. Javonte Brown in the mix for some points here, and he won't back down.
Great job staying with it here for Javonte Brown. But I gotta tell you, Mitch, after seeing the 2-3 that Saskatoon threw out against Calgary and gave them all kind of fits, it's interesting to see Vancouver sit back in that same zone, and it seems like Calgary almost doesn't know what to do when they're going up against that zone. So it's up to them to kind of counteract by moving the basketball around and finding those lanes.
The Surge have been schooled on what the Bandits do, but there's something different from walking through it, a shoot around, and getting out there on the floor. And the Surge are trying to put the practice into action. As the floor gets a little bit of housekeeping, we've got something to share with you, and that is that you can follow CEBL action or CEBL news at CEB League on all social platforms to stay up to date on stats, on storylines, and a whole lot more for all 10 teams in Canada's Pro Basketball League. So we've got the floor in good working order. Javonte Brown to the free throw line. First one does not fall for Javonte. The Surge holding Vancouver to just 18 points in the opening quarter. Bandits have picked up the offense in this second quarter. They are the #1 offense in the CEBL as Brown cannot convert from the line. 98.8 points a game for Vancouver. They were limited against Calgary in the last meeting between the teams. Surge winning 95-90 in that one. Before that, the Surge keeping the Bandits to 84 points. Stepping back and letting it go. Joyner. Comba gets back and rebounds. That starts Ruggsy in transition. He's bumped into on the way back. And Samuel, it's mission accomplished. He slowed down that attempt to change ends for Calgary.
And you take that foul if it's out, Samuel. Like you said, the last thing you want is Calgary to get out on the floor and start to run. So slow things down, take that foul, and make Calgary beat you in the half court.
Joplin driving, backing up Parolin. Joplin with a tough shot, made it look easy.
There we go, spin over the left shoulder, just kind of dislodge the defense with a slight shoulder nudge and get you an easy push lane.
Joyner, Samuel, Pandy, Parolin, and Brown for the Bandits. John Parolin, Joyner with 5 seconds to shoot. Watched by Swan Roger, trying to stay with him, gets his hands up. It's a good touch, though, from the Bandit, who steals 2. Miller Moore trying to find a little space, steps up. Shot was impacted there by Parolin, who reacted very nicely defensively, and Vancouver will take over.
Yeah, that's what happens when you've got 2 defenders right now able to throw their bodies at Miller Moore. You can lose one, but if Don Parolin is on time with the rotation as he was, that's a great second set of hands to use.
Spent a lot of this first half with either Samuel, Karnick, or Parolin. Combination thereof on the floor. That size has been a challenge. Driving, getting it off the window and scoring. Real confidence there from Brown, who shows he's got a few levels to his offensive game.
Yeah, lightning quick, great take.
Swan Roger looking down low for Joplin, kicked away by Parolin. And the Surge will take it back. Side out of bounds, and Armani Cheney comes over. The Surge making sure everybody's on the same page here as they restart. Swan Roger, hands to Cheney. Cheney stepping back, looking for 3, and finding it.
Like that for Armani Cheney right now. Step back, remove Jamal Gibbons from the equation when it comes to defending the team, and make sure to bury that 3 as well.
Second triple in the game for Cheney, 6 points on the evening. And a tie contest in the last 2 minutes of the opening half. Gibbons. Brown working with it. Comba right there. Brown tries it from way downtown as the clock ticked down, and that's exactly what the Surge wanted to see.
Yeah, finally, the Calgary Surge have been able to put together a 24 seconds of lock-tight defense right there. See if you can build on that. More defensive stands are needed for Calgary like that if they look to kind of get out in front.
Surge had a lead after a quarter. Would like to take one to the recess. Cheney from the free throw line. And that'll fall.
Calm, cool, relaxed. Armani Cheney getting to the key this time and get your shot to go.
Cheney played just 14:57 on Sunday. Impactful once again here, but so is that long-range shooting. Mulder is having a night.
Yeah, time to tighten the screws here for Calgary on that perimeter, because Mulder, Brown are getting to it from long range, and that can be backbreaking.
3 from beyond the arc for Mulder already. Brown in transition with a gimme, and he missed it.
Oh,
Gibbons picks it up inside the final minute of the opening half, and good defensive effort there. Joplin not giving up. Now Cheney trying to finish this off, gets it to Miller Moore, and Miller Moore will score.
That's how you break in there and make it finish. Good job staying under control as Cheney finds the cutting Miller Moore, settles himself, and gets that easy 2. It's a transition bucket right there from that Calgary Surge offense.
Rans Brempong wants to talk to his team. Muggsy Miller Moore making his way back to the bench. The Surge are getting more and more evidence of the value of competing at the defensive end. They had it in spades during the 4-game win streak, and this evening, when they've been able to turn it up at the defensive end, they like the results.
Proof's in the pudding. Right there, all you got to do is look at the defensive activity for the Calgary Surge, and that will let you know how they're playing in any given game. Regardless of the score, forget the score. Make sure defense is on point. Everything else is falling into place.
Just a reminder to stick around at halftime. We've got lots for you between the first and second halves. The plays of the week from Week 10 are on the way. Cammy will visit with Vancouver interim head coach Rans Brempong. We've got the halftime stats, and we're going to check on the players to watch once again as well. It's all coming up at the conclusion of this opening half, which is 44.9 ticks away. Surge 25 and Vancouver 18 after 10 minutes. Surge by 1 now as we wind down the opening half. Calgary 2-1 against Vancouver on the season, having won the last 2. misspoke earlier. Calgary holding Vancouver to 80 points the last time the teams played, at 84 the time before that. And they got a number that looks like they're on track for something like that. The job is far from done, and this Vancouver approach with the size provides a different sort of challenge for Calgary defensively.
It does, and we talked about it off top. It's all about matchups. This game is all about matchups. Vancouver, #1 ranked offense, and like you just said, being held to 80 points against this Calgary Surge team in 2026. Again, it's all about the schemes you throw out and what you're able to do to disrupt their offense. Right now, like you said, they seem to be on track for that, but you want to make sure to still crank it up defensively here with a full court press.
Out of the timeout. Final minute underway. Joyner watched closely by the opposite one, and Cheney trying to stick with him. Still 10 seconds on the shot clock. Mulder, who's been feeling it, will try that one. Joplin made it tough. Swat of the way. Swanton, Roger, Miller, Moore got to it, but couldn't get it to a teammate. Vancouver will take it back with 24 seconds to go until halftime and 14 on the shot clock. Joyner round the screen from Barrelin. Swanton Roger came over, did enough. Up top for Brown. Brown ranging to his right. He can get to the glass in a hurry. Couldn't score it. The Surge take it back. They've got 10 seconds to cash in. Cheney knows it. Cheney will put it to the perimeter. Ruggsy, Miller, Moore looking for three, and it doesn't fall. Vancouver trying to strike late. They'll heave it the full length of the court and come up empty. The Surge with a pretty healthy advantage after the opening quarter. It's been cut into by the Bandits, but Calgary leads at the halftime break by 1. It's 42-41, and a giant game for both of these teams. And the Surge trying to bounce back from a disappointing loss against Saskatoon on Sunday with a pretty solid-looking opening half.
Yeah, you got to be happy with that first half if you're the Calgary Surge. Granted, there are some things they do need to address here at halftime, specifically what they're going to do with this size up front for Vancouver. They're throwing guys like Karnick and Samuel, and even you're letting Givens and Pandy crash that offensive glass. They've got to do a bit better job of fortifying that restricted area, keeping them off the glass and seeing it secure after one miss.
Yeah, one of the things we've seen from Vancouver is a real ability to create possessions, extended possessions with the bodies, with the size, and Calgary's done a nice job of limiting the Bandits to 41 points halfway through the game, but that number could be even better with some of the little details looked after, as Jermaine has pointed out. I'm sure Dave DeVera will do that same thing at halftime, point out some of the corrections for the team, but this is something that we wondered about starting this game, was where would the Surge be mindset-wise after losing the game on Sunday? So much talk about how important it was and how there's no margin for error in the push to playoffs, etc. And they've done a nice job here of playing, by and large, the kind of game they want to play. And let's remember who they're playing against, too. This is the Vancouver Bandits. This is a team battling for first place, trying to secure a home playoff spot tonight. Yeah, Calgary knew they were going to have to bring it tonight, and they've done so far. And again, when you're coming off of a loss like you did against a couple days ago here when they were able to not get it done against Saskatoon, you want to make sure you have that energy and you're able to keep it up. And so far, to this point, despite only being up 1, you've got to be happy with Calgary's effort. Let's get a little more on this one. We'll check in with Cami Kepke, who's got a special guest.
Had a double team quickly. The ball's worked around by Montreal. Shot fake from Johnson. Now it goes up, and he cans that. Montreal on the board with their first 3 of the game.
Guarding Teddy Buckets.
Finds Haycott underneath. Tillman hammers it through. Good patience by the Sea Bears to find the right man, and Tillman slams it home. Game is pretty much over. Lindsay fires the three.
They're still alive. Here we go.
Still alive, but barely breathing. And now the next bucket. Who will it be?
Make that 13, 4, and 6 against Winnipeg on Wednesday for the team's top scorer, averaging just about 17 a game. And the visitors get on the board.
Into the lane. Can't get it to fall. 4 seconds to get something up. Keontae Kennedy at the rim, lays it in. Well executed on the break to close out the quarter. And the River Lions will head into the break. 19-18 leaders in this one, as this one figures like it's going to go back and forth all day long.
Trying to go to work. Good defense there from Moncrief, and a better shot from Kennedy.
Yeah, that looked like what Flowers did earlier, right? You got the mismatch, you like the guy you want, and what do you do? He throws with the dribble, ends up shooting the paint jumper.
The basketball, 3 seconds up the floor, and a second at the basket. Behind. Takes business into his own hands.
Blocked from behind as Moore got a piece of it. Pinsky in transition, no good. Fudge with the putback flush.
Oh, fudge. Said that a few times in my life. Holy smokes, did he get up in the air.
Competing to the very end. Burns, great defensive play by Javonte Brown. Comba, Luxie Millimore! Pull out the extender, why don't you, Millimore? Ooh, did they need that?
Boy, oh
did
boy.
they need that?
Man, that is a momentum pump-up right there.
Gibbons into the lane, pulls up. Shamar Gibbons says goodnight. Over more, Montreal. Shamar Gibbons plays hero at LEC. What a ball game, folks. Vancouver comes all the way back, down by as much as 22.
Halfway through in Calgary, and the Surge have a lead of 42-41 against the Vancouver Bandits. Great to have you with us. Mitch Peacock, Jermaine Cummings, and Cami Kepke. Time to take a closer look at the action from the opening half. It was an interesting half. The Surge with the advantage 25-18 in the first quarter. Vancouver with the advantage 23-17 in the second quarter. The Surge doing some really good things getting this game started. And that's what we were watching for after the loss on Sunday.
Yeah, and believe it or not, the best thing they're doing today is shooting that three ball well. I think we have a big enough sample size this season to legitimately say that the Calgary Surge can indeed lean on that three-point shooting. And that's what's got them out in front here by one, is the great numbers from deep. The question becomes, can they continue that same trajectory in the third? They're going to need it to beat Vancouver here.
Surge with 8 and 8 threes in the opening half, 8 of 17 from beyond the arc. On the other side, the Vancouver Bandits, well, they've shown an ability to shoot it from long range, but most impressively is what they've been able to do with that size on the interior.
That is throw it on the inside, remove defenders, Calgary defenders from the equation, and make sure to get it as well. Makes these second chance opportunities on next level right now from the Bandits. And we knew it was coming in, it was going to be an issue for the Surge to deal with that size, but to actually see it in practice, 12 offensive rebounds in one half of basketball. Vancouver,
remarkable.
Yeah, it's next level. Vancouver's got 13 defensive rebounds. They're almost level. 12 and 13 rebounds on each side of the basketball. That is a rare feat, believe me.
8 points for Tyrese Samuel halfway through this one, and a very tight ball game, an entertaining affair as anticipated. Whenever these teams get together, that's what we see, and that's happening once again here. Here are the numbers, the matchup stats halfway through the contest, and you can see the three-point shooting dramatically different in favor of Calgary. As you said, it's become a strength. And the teams, well, I'm sure, monitoring the situation very closely and in the dressing room saying, okay, this is what they're doing and this is what we're doing and so on. So what do you think is a priority right now for each of these teams as they look at the second half?
When you're looking at Calgary, you've been able to really get that three-point shooting to a level that keeps you in the game, essentially. 47% is great. And you love how they've been able to keep the Vancouver Bandits to 25% from three-point as well. So you're doing a great job making sure to keep Vancouver off the line, as I was saying in the keys. But again, 25 rebounds, and it doesn't show the real story because 12 of those are offensive rebounds. That's what's killing the Surge on the inside. They have to do a better job of keeping those front court players from Vancouver away from the glass and securing that second chance.
And interesting how few times these teams have been able to get to the free throw line.
Yeah, you like that. Officials are letting these guys play right now. You're seeing good defense, good clean defense on both sides, the way the game is supposed to be played, between the lines, not at the free throw stripe.
So halfway through this one, a one-point affair. Vancouver working to secure a home playoff date, even stick in that battle for top spot against Winnipeg, who they play on Thursday. And Calgary trying to hang around in the race for a playoff position. More to come halfway through this one. You're watching CEBL Basketball Live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
CEBL.com.
Welcome back to Calgary for CEBL action. The Calgary Surge with a 1-point lead over Vancouver, joined by Bandits head coach Ransford Rempong. Only trailing by 1 point, and your team pulled off a pretty incredible comeback the other night. What does a win like that do for your confidence coming into a tight match like this one?
I mean, I know our guys are going to play hard. They're not going to give up, but that was one game. That was the last game. This game, it's a different game. We got to take care of business and be ready.
You've got the top offense in the league, 22 points in the paint tonight. What's been the key to creating that offense and penetrating Calgary's defense?
I mean, we got to run. We're not doing the greatest job for running right now, so we got to correct that for the second half.
Calgary's been pretty strong shooting beyond the arc. How do you limit those opportunities in the second half?
Just get a hand up. Make them have to shoot with a contested hand. Play the percentages. Make sure we're contesting all shots.
Thanks for this, Coach.
Thank you.
That's Bandits head coach Ransford Rempong. His team trailing by 1 point entering the third quarter. Mitch, Jermaine, back to you.
Thank you so much, Cammie. Thank you, Rans, as well. The coach with a clear and simple message. I'm sure it was like that in the locker room as well. You don't want to clutter your players' heads with thoughts in a big game like this.
No, keep things easy and breezy. And Rans is definitely making sure to let us know what the Bandits need to do in the second half, and that's contest those 3-point shots.
All right, let's get to the players to watch, the ones we set up for you in the pregame show. See how they are faring. We begin with Tyrese Samuel, one of the standout players in all the league.
Ty's getting to it. 8 points at this point, shooting 50% from the field, over 1 from range, but nonetheless, he is someone who can hit from out there. 2 for 2 from the line doesn't hurt as well. He's shooting 100%, but most importantly, he is making sure to attract all the eyes of the defense, and that's going to open up some other guys real quick. You guys like Marley can take advantage. We saw Karna get some second chance opportunities as well. So if you're Tyrese Samuel, you don't necessarily need to score the basketball to have an effect on this game. Your presence alone is more than enough.
Physical guy. He has managed to limit the fouls to 2 as we get ready for the second half. You see Adonis Arms as the player to watch for Calgary. Adonis coming out of the starting lineup, coming off of the bench for this game. We haven't seen him much so far, just over 5 minutes. He's only taken 1 shot. He did have an assist. And it's an interesting time for Adonis right now. Every player goes through it every season. Sometimes things are not going your way, and you just have to keep on working, and you know that's what he's doing.
Yeah, it'll happen for him eventually. When you take a look at that Surge bench, he's up, clapping, making sure his guys are into it. He's still being that presence on the bench, and you already know when he gets back in the game, he's going to be giving 100% effort. Take care of that stat.
I talked to him yesterday. He was talking about his mom and his sister, what a great support system he's got, and how they always watch and cheer for him. And he knows it's just a matter of time. He's going to keep putting in the work, and the Surge will look forward to him returning to top form. All right, path to the playoffs are brought to you by Red Tag. The Eastern Conference standings are brought to you by Lotto Max, and the Western Conference standings, well, who else would they be presented by but Cal Tire, great sponsors of basketball in the West. There's the battle that the Bandits are in for top spot with the Winnipeg Sea Bears, a team they will play in the Manitoba capital on Thursday. Saskatoon and Edmonton next in line on 8 wins. The Surge on 5, and that's why it is absolutely vital for the Surge not to have any slip-ups here and try and stay in the race. If they can win tonight, if Saskatoon can win tonight, well, then the Surge would go into a home with the Edmonton Stingers, just 2 wins behind them, and that's a very interesting scenario. The Surge are probably not allowing themselves to think about very much right now.
No, definitely not. You don't want to at this point. Forget about the standings for the Surge. You've got an entire half of basketball to play against a Vancouver team that is bringing it to your front door. You've got to fend them off. So we can look at the standings and see that, wow, they're in a position we didn't necessarily think they would have been in 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. But again, Surge, forget about that. Get into this game and get the job done tonight. Bandits aren't going to make it easy.
Bandits at 12-7, as you saw on the path to the playoffs. They are 5-4 playing on the road, have won their last, or 2 of their last 3 on their travels. Calgary here at home at 3-6. Jermaine talked about the turnaround for the Calgary Surge. They lost their first 10 games of the season. I mean, that's matching a CEBL record for most losses to start a season, most losses within a season. But since the 17th of June, the Surge have won 5 and lost 4. They had a 4-game win streak come to an end on Sunday against the Saskatoon Mamba, and they're right back at it here in this one and have themselves a lead as we get ready to begin the third quarter. You know, the Dave DeVero's team is feeling better about themselves than they did on Sunday when they didn't have the effort they were looking for, and now it's a matter of playing the full 40 minutes to try and find a way past this excellent Bandits team to get the second half underway.
That's exactly it. You said it right there, Mitch. When it comes to effort, that's the one thing you can control definitively, is the effort you're willing to give. In the first 20 minutes of this ball game, you've got to be pleased if you're Dave DeVero with your squad's effort tonight.
So period 3 getting underway. Surge in black, Bandits in orange. Cheney with some directions, gets it to Javonte Brown. Brown works it down that wing, gets it back towards Ruggsy Miller-Moore, picked off by Brown. Givens inside, Karnik with position, and scores with the left hand.
Vancouver doing it to you right there. Great defense out of the gate. And then just like that.
The Surge sloppy getting the ball back into play, and the Bandits, who did a nice job defensively and then cashed into the offensive end, get another possession here.
Now you want to start at a half right there, but you got a chance to get it right back. Dig in your heels and make this a stop on defense.
Givens to get it back into play. Bandits with the bigs again, and Samuel and Karnik out there. Givens takes it up top. Cheney trying to stay with him. Brown lending a hand, took a lane away. Givens stepping back. And taken by Joplin. So the Surge get a stop. Cheney to the corner for Miller-Moore. Cheney back for Ruggsy. Onto the wing for Comba. Comba in the starting lineup tonight. Inside for Javonte Brown, who gets up. Couldn't score it. And it's swatted away by the Bandits. From long range, that one rattles around. The Surge do a good job to get it back under their spell. Miller-Moore. Joplin. Works against Karnik. Joplin. Twisting, turning, glass and good. That's nice.
That's how you get it done right there for David Joplin. Definitive head fake, lose Karnik, go up and under with the silk.
9 for Joplin. The Surge back on top. Cheney works his way into the lane. There's some space there. Goes high with it. Can't finish it. Miller-Moore came in to lay a hand. It goes off of Givens. And the Surge will get it back. Joplin played in the first division in France last season out of Marquette. Has it here from the perimeter. A mid-ranger falls.
Yeah, way too late on the rotation right there is Jarrell Eddy, and David Joplin just knocks down an uncontested midi.
Samuel going to work. Joplin trying to get in the way. Brown comes over, does a nice job to slow things up. Samuel, with the extra reps, will make it count.
Yeah, and another offensive rebound to his total here as Samuel continues to be a handful inside, regardless of who is going up against.
You see the strengths of the two teams. It's a matter of which one can win out in this clash. The teams that love to get up against one another. Surge all time in the regular season, 7-5 against Vancouver, 2-1 in the playoffs, including last season, that dramatic win at the Langley Event Center. Miller-Moore guarded by Brown, finds Combo, who's got a little space, and that'll rattle through.
You'll take that every single time. If you get some action going for Combo to come off for a pin down and get himself a nice uncontested look, more than likely that's going to drop.
Now turning the corner back at the other end, and that is a slick put away. Sevin Brown counts. It's a one-point affair once more. Cheney in and scores.
Givens and Cheney going shot for shot on layup right now. Givens not giving any kind of slack. Look at this.
Back at the other end of Brown, just a little impatient, reaches up. And we've got a awarded basket. Basket counts, and 50-49 is our score. A reminder, Western Conference action is brought to you by Cal Tire. Cal Tire, proud sponsors of CEBL Western Conference play. Ruggsy Miller-Moore works his way to the inside. Karnik there to meet him. And the Czech international with the denial. Surge will maintain possession, still have 12 seconds on the shot clock. Maryland gives Samuel a break. Joyner comes in for Givens. Just past the 7-minute mark of the third quarter. Matthew Comba finds a little room. The mid-range game in this third quarter paying off for Calgary.
It's got to be the move here if you're the Surge. Keep finding Matthew Comba off some action and let him get wide open Jays, whether it's from 3 or from the mid-range. He's got it going right now.
Karnik with the 3, doesn't work. Cheney got over there, got his hands to it. Joplin had it. And then he looked like he might have been grabbed onto there as he tried to work to the attack. But they're going to say it's just out of bounds off of Calgary.
Good effort right there from Joplin. Unfortunately, could not wrangle that ball.
Combo with 7 after the midi fell on the last possession. At 17 in the game on Sunday. Worked his way into the starting lineup. Samuel there with a tough attempt. And he will draw the foul on Callum Swanton-Rogers, getting himself into some foul trouble.
Yes, and that's a move right there for Ty Samuel. You got the rookie on you, Cal Swanton-Rogers. So what do? Create some contact. Get up and under. Send yourself to the line and rack up those fouls on Swanton-Rogers as well.
So that's 3 on the rookie, Swanton-Rogers. Samuel off the mark on the first one. Tyrese is 71% free throw shooter on the season. Entering the action. Fans trying to play a part here, but Samuel, cool, calm, and collected, gets the second one to go. Joplin out wide, back for Comba. He gets it to Miller Moore. Screen and roll, but he elects to shoot it. Finds the rim and lands with Eddie in his second game with the Bandits. Brown in the block, a mismatch there. Samuel to the inside. Coming across with Swanton-Rogers. A little too late, and the Bandits use that length and size once again. Inside, Swanton-Rogers, and that's how you answer back.
Get up, Cal, there you go. Nice little screen, dive to the basket, bounce pass in the pocket for Miller Moore, and look at Swanton-Rogers going over the top.
See Miller Moore with a good vision to find him. Bandits patient here. 10 seconds to shoot still. They run into Comba, and the whistle goes. They're going to have a side out of bounds. Comba a little frustrated. He thought he had position.
Devin Brown is putting so much pressure on this Calgary defense with constant motion. Whether it's with or without the basketball, Brown is moving, keeping guys like Comba and Miller Moore on their toes, strictly from his movement alone.
Looks like they got Joplin for the foul. He'll sit down. Marlon Johnson comes in. And here's Joyner. Joyner on the move. He got a step. Swanton-Rogers came over. Couldn't erase it.
That's all it takes. Read and react. Jarkel Joyner sees the help is late, and he says, don't mind me. I'm just going to step behind and get it to him at the cup.
54 apiece coming up on the midway mark of the third quarter. And a whistle away from the play. A grab there. Cheney happy with the call.
I tell you, he highlighted the physicality of the front court coming into this game, but I tell you, Cheney, Joyner, Gibbons, these guys are really getting to it here when you're looking at some of the smaller guys on the floor.
Yeah, they're saying we can tangle too.
Yeah.
I'm expected to be any different between these two teams. Marlon Johnson comes to it. Comba driving. Comba mid-range, just a little light. And the Bandits will take it. Comba saying, hold on a second. Samuel touched that. Didn't miss that shot by that much. And they are changing their mind here. This is going to be Calgary basketball. And now we got a timeout on the floor just past the midway mark of this third quarter. 54-54, Calgary and Vancouver from Winsport Event Center. Stick around, much more on the way. You're watching the CEBL on CBC Jam, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Welcome back to Winsport. We're joined by Canadian Olympian and 3-on-3 great Casey Bosch. You've been a staple at CEBL games. We saw you courtside in Lethbridge with Paige Crozon. What keeps you coming back?
Basketball is just so fun. In Southern Alberta and Calgary, we have such a rich history with basketball, so it's fun to have a professional team to be able to cheer for.
You're from Lethbridge. You're coaching with the Pronghorns, just like Kenny Otieno. How well do you two know each other?
We know each other very well. I know his elbow very well to my sternum when we play 3-on-3 in our runs, but he's such an awesome guy. I'm really glad that he gets to do this in the summers.
You're coming off a silver at 3-on-3 with Biba at the Marseille stop. You also came back with a walking boot, but how do you reflect on your season and what's next?
It's just such an amazing opportunity to continue playing basketball and having more women playing professional sports. What's next is healing, mostly, and we'll take it from there, so we'll see.
And for those watching in the Lower Mainland, what's it been like watching Surrey's Tara Wallach make her senior national women's team debut this year?
She is such a talented player. She has so much to look forward to, and like just an amazing person too, so it's really cool to have her around and to build our culture with her.
Thank you so much for this, Casey. Speedy recovery and enjoy the game.
Thank you so much.
Mitch, Jermaine, back to you.
Thank you very much. And wow, what a great guest. And yes, speedy recovery. Everybody loves the 3-on-3 version of the game.
Yeah, and everyone loves Casey Bosch as well. You're talking royalty when it comes to Alberta basketball, Mitch. And if you need a little bit of inspiration on what you want a point guard to play like in 3-on-3 with some fire, watch Casey Bosch go to work. She is next level.
Next level collision there. Cheney and Samuel, little and large, meet up in the paint. That's the first foul of the game on Cheney, who manages to come away from that no worse for wear. And here's the coming together in transition.
Not easy here to stand in against a guy as big and large as Ty Samuel is. And he tried to get around, but fortunately for Armani, just a slight little hip contact is all it took for the ref to see fit to blow the whistle.
Tyrese Samuel up to 12 points in the game, matching the dozen from Tevin Brown. Surge with 3 players in double figures, led by the 11 from David Joplin. Samuel makes it a 2-point game. Ruxy Miller-Moore into the bag a little bit, works his way into the paint a little bit with the left hand. Will count 2.
Get to it, Ruggs. Stay calm and make sure to go up and under. Use all of those steps and get you a lefty leg. Great focus take right there from Miller-Moore.
Joyner into the hands of Mulder. Back for Joyner. Joyner on the move. The Surgers staying with him. The intensity up a notch here in this third quarter. Teams know what's at stake here. Parolin cross court from the corner, and that is good. Jarkel Joyner.
Big time right there. It's a great contest from Kamba, but Jarkel gets just enough under it to get it up and down.
And with the pause, Callum Swanton-Roger heads off the court, and Javonte Brown comes back in. Marlon Johnson will put it into play. He's joined by Ruxy Miller-Moore. Rounding it out, Armani Cheney, Javonte Brown, and Matthew Komba. Komba to Miller-Moore. Miller-Moore mid-range, off the glass, doesn't fall. Brown trying to find a way to squeeze it. Bandits come away with control. Joyner slips a couple of checks, gets in, and just can't get it to fall.
Lightning quick and strong at the same time is Jarkel Joyner. If you're a defender and you're looking around and try to set up that defense, and if you take your eyes off of Jarkel, he is gone in a flash right there. They've got to account for him a little bit quicker into that offensive set.
Raptors 905, 50 games this past season for Jarkel Joyner, averaging 11 a game, and that change of pace is really nasty. Surge are getting a face full of it so far from Joyner. Well, Bandits fans, bring the energy every night. You can be part of this season, and the CEBL tickets available by scanning the QR code that is at thebandits.ca/tickets. What a place to see a basketball game. The LEC, a terrific spot. Beautiful setup, great atmosphere, knowledgeable fans, and yeah, if you get an opportunity in the Lower Mainland to see a game in Langley, pounce on it.
Yeah, yet to grace the hallowed halls of the LEC yet, but like I hear from you and everyone else that has been there, Mitch, it is quite the environment.
Yeah, it is outstanding. And the Bandits have helped to make it outstanding with quality every year. 7 consecutive years now they've qualified for the playoffs. Recently securing that, trying to take care of home court now in the playoffs, at least to get things started. In that battle for first with Winnipeg. Here's Muggsy Miller-Moore in a battle for a bucket, and he wins the battle again.
Good job right there. Miller-Moore sees that there is no help. We're going one-on-one. Brown, Miller-Moore, so he just backs him down and gets him over the top with the left.
Too much room and time for Joyner. The Surge find a way to take care of things underneath and get back to the offense. Miller-Moore driving at Mulder. Backing up Mulder. Mulder trying to hold strong. Javonte Brown wants the rebound. His shirt was grabbed onto there by Parolin. Escaped the view of the official. Getting things done at the defensive end. Samuel with a really quick turn there. And he just about got away from Joplin.
Yeah, and that's signature Ty Samuel. That quick spin over the right shoulder. Usually going baseline more times than not. Unable to hold on to the ball this time, but you already know what he's looking to do when he gets the ball on that block.
Surge up by 7 after the opening quarter. The Bandits bettered Calgary by 6 in the second quarter. Here we are in the third. 3 points separating the teams overall. And Calgary takes the ball back. Talked about Vancouver in that battle for first place with Winnipeg. The teams play on Thursday in Winnipeg, and then they'll close out the regular season against each other. And now we got a technical here.
They do. That we use. Michael Mulder having a conversation with the crew chief right there. He must have just crossed the line with what he said, because they were conversating back and forth, but seemed to be calm. But I think Michael Mulder just took it there, and just like that ends up in a tee.
So Patterson steps to the line, counts the first one. Your seat is waiting for you to catch every single game live from the Winsport Event Center. Get your tickets at calgarysurge.ca/tickets or by scanning the QR code. Patterson. Hey, to work here. That's pretty.
Lindsay Addy Patterson around the back for a little bit of action. After a free throw technical make as well. Okay, Addy Patterson, a little ISO 3-0 run.
Just keeps coming off the bench and making a difference. Great energy, great production. Tough at the defensive end. Tie game, final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Out for Joyner, 5 seconds on the shot clock. He hung on until just the perfect moment.
Sinclair, you got to know that Jarkel can knock that thing down. I understand you want to pack the paint with all that size, but again, Jarkel being that release valve, you got to go see him a little bit quicker.
See Miller-Moore guarded there by Brown, and it was knocked off of Miller-Moore. The Bandits will take it back. A chance to add a little momentum here down the stretch in the third quarter. The Surge have to be careful. Bandits 7-5 against the West. Calgary 4-8 within the conference. Brown, watched by Patterson, pass to the inside. Got a Vancouver bounce. They'll get it to Samuel, who will score and one.
Big to big action all night long. Parolin, Harnick, Samuel, regardless of who's rocking the front court orange for the Bandits here tonight, it is active hands and making sure to stay calm under pressure and finishing at the cup.
Key time in the ball game right now for both of these teams. The Bandits can sense there's an opportunity to get some separation, and the Surge want to make sure they don't get that. The lead has changed 19 times in this ball game. The Bandits had the advantage to 6. Sincere carry. Watched by Joyner, is not going to give an inch. Carey looks into the paint, perimeter. Joplin. Joplin on the move, wants this too. A little light in the Bandits. Head to the front court. Joyner going right at Joplin. Steps back, puts it up. Just couldn't land it. Samuel continues to win battles. Inside for Joyner. Too much with the left hand. The Surge haven't. Tried to get it ahead quickly, but the foul on Patterson will stop the play.
Yeah, you see the physicality right now from that Vancouver backcourt. Darkel Joyner really laying into the Calgary backcourt right now. They've got to match that same physicality. Losing the strength battle right now at the Surge, and it's got them down on the scoreboard as well.
Samuel back at the bench checking out his nose after the last exchange. Patterson gets the first to fall. Among the many strengths for Addy Patterson is foul shooting, 84% of the season.
Beautiful numbers here from Addy Patterson at the line. The guy is very, very dependable when it comes to knocking down free throws. And you like that from a hard hat guy like Patterson.
Big 45 seconds on now. The Bandits leading it by 4. Givens quickly picking up the pace. To the perimeter he goes, driving with it. Pandy, not known for his offense, and that one doesn't go his way. Brown had it, and Karnik wanted it, commits the foul. Both teams in the penalty. 3 on Karnik as they change ends. And Samuel looks like he's okay after that contact with the face. He'll come back in. Parolin comes off. Brown to the foul line, an area he's been working on improving. Didn't get the roll that time around.
Stroke looks good, and he gets plenty of opportunity with how active he is around the basket. And all things considered, he's decent from the free throw line, and you'll take that from out of your starting 5.
1 of 2, 3-point game. 7-second difference. Shot clock, game clock. Givens well aware of that. Looks to the paint inside. Karnik trying to get up against Brown. Brown making it hard. A second big body in there, and Brown takes care of them both this time around. The final possession here for Calgary in quarter 3. Terry sizing things up. Trying to work there against Givens. Driving in to the inside. Javante Brown! Sim Terry sets the table, and Brown down.
That's how you get to it at the end of a quarter. Sim Carey, ever the facilitator. Get those hands like Javante Brown, put it down, and get into the fourth quarter on a run.
Number 31, the next thing he knew, the ball was in his hands, and we've got ourselves a game. 67-66 through 3 quarters in Calgary. You're watching the CEBL on CBC Jam, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Did you know that every CEBL game ends on a game-winning bucket? Yep, every single one. That's because we use something called target score ending, a thrilling twist that keeps fans locked in till the final shot. So what is the target score ending? Here's how it works. The first time the clock stops with 4 minutes or less left in the fourth quarter, the game clock is turned off. We enter target score time. We take the leading team's score, add 9 points, and that becomes the target score. Let's say it's 91-80. That means the first team to hit 100 wins. No ticking clock, no intentional fouls, just pure clutch basketball. It's fast, it's electric, and it guarantees that every game ends with a bang. Experience the target score ending this CEBL season.
And we're back to Calgary. Time now for the Cruise of the Game, brought to you by Cal Tire.
The key to demoralizing defenses on the move is turning defense into offense. And as you see, somebody like Brown who's able to get that steal, and James Karnik once again finishing that play, those are momentum swingers right there. And it just so happens that after that, Vancouver really turned the corner when it came to offensive production. Turn D into O all day long.
Karnik, 14 points, 10 boards in the win against Montreal in his season debut last weekend on Friday night. Got 8 points in the ball game here. The Bandits lead it by 1. They threatened to pull away late in that third quarter. The Surge did a nice job to keep them within reach as we get an early whistle here. Bugsy Miller-Moore leading the way for Calgary with 14 points to this stage. Tyrese Samuel, 16, leads all scorers.
And half of that 16 from Samuel came in that third quarter alone. He's really starting to get into his own. And you see Vancouver starting to highlight him on offense. Get him on the block and let him start to get the work here. And we'll see if that same trajectory continues in this fourth quarter.
Surge took 1 3-point attempt in that third quarter. They went to the mid-range and it seemed to pay off for them.
Yeah, momentarily it definitely did. But when you're trading 2s for 3s, eventually you're going to start to kind of lose grip of that lead you had. So we'll see if Calgary fires it up from range here in the fourth.
Samuel underneath, Brown there trying to make it tough. He does. Help from Patterson, works 2. Extended possession, lost by Eddie. Picked up by Carey. Carey working to his left, having a look around. He's got to be careful here. Numbers around him. He's going to scoop it with the left hand. Javonte Brown had it for a moment, snatched away by Givens, who then slips and falls, and the Surge will take over. That's unfortunate. Hopefully Givens is able to get up okay.
Yeah, lucky break right there. As Kamba and Givens just kind of coming together as Givens was trying to start the break. You're going to see Shamar Givens all game long. He's just been putting it on the deck, trying to get to it, and just kind of lost his footing right there. Lost control of the basketball. So opportunity here for the Surge to take advantage.
Well, he defies gravity sometimes when he gets moving, and I think that time he just couldn't keep it going during the quarter, and the balance just was not there that time around. The Surge trying to make the most of it. Andy, excellent defensive player against Joplin, and somehow he counts.
That was the 2025 Defensive Player of the Year. That Joplin just knocks down that triple over and up against the shot clock. That is major right there.
Big time stroke from Joplin. Surge back in front. Bandy now works his way into the lane. Patterson does a nice job to take the angles away, and the Surge will get another stop. Now inside, and Carey gets it to go, and Rans Brempong wants the timeout.
Yes, and Carey getting it going now, and you saw him really start to come into his own at the end of the third quarter, and now he's telling everybody everyone's too little. It's funny because seeing Carey looking up at everybody on the floor, but no matter, it's him getting to the basket by will and getting the job done as well.
Well, as the Bandits head back to their bench to regroup, the Surge find themselves with a 4-point advantage with a nice start to this fourth quarter, keyed in part by outstanding defense, and then Sin Carey with some personality. It's funny because the players have been telling me in practice, you gotta watch Carey. He's pretty funny. He's got a good sense of humor. You can tell he's having some fun out there, and the guys are coming right along with him.
It's always the facilitators that can crack up a room real quick, and watching Sin Carey and how willing he is to get everyone involved in the offense, it's no surprise that he's doing the same off the floor as well, and he's cracking guys up.
So the guys now feeling good about things after a good start to the fourth quarter. A long way to go, though, against this Vancouver team. They know that. They're trying to get an understanding of where the next move is in this chess game. Rans Brempong with some advice for his team. Rans Brempong is a guy that you may not have heard of because he was working in behind Kyle Julius, who obviously dominates the scene as the GM and head coach. But Rans Brempong's been around the game a long time. He's an ex-national team player, played in Europe for a number of years, played at Western Carolina. This is a guy with a vast knowledge of the game.
Most certainly. And Rans always has this perspective on everything. When you step back and he's able to kind of look at things in totality and just kind of break it down and make everything seem so simple. He's just kind of got that energy about him, someone you want to be around. It's just funny because he's polar opposite to the guy who was in that position before. But it works for Vancouver to have both those guys going, and it's definitely worked for him this season as well.
Always tough to make that jump from assistant coach to the head guy. You were the guy that was kind of softening the message from the head coach, the guy who put his arm around you, told you everything was going to be okay, and now you got to go in and lay down the law. But I think he's done it in a real genuine way, and that works. The players know you're just shooting straight. Carey shoots straight there and adds another. And just like that, the Calgary lead is 5. Here's Joyner, who's having a good night. Got a lot of those in 2026. Averaging 19 for the season. Samuel Tries to bring it all the way, put it high off the window. Coming back was Carey, and he knocked it off of the Vancouver player and out. Surge are going to get it. Hang on a sec now. There's a conversation going on as the crew chief comes over to share his point of view, Greg Spagnoli. And it looked like Carey came in, got his hand on the hand of the Vancouver player. And it will stay with Calgary.
And he did. Well, once again, you got to credit Sin Carey for collapsing in on the defense, something the Vancouver backcourt has been doing all game long, and now the Surge backcourt starting to follow suit, realizing they got to send guys back in.
6-1 out of Kent State. Sincere Carey to the corner. Joplin looking for three. That bounce looked like it went off of Parolin, but they say Brown. And Javante doesn't put up much of a fight, so they retreat to their defensive posture. Joyner from NC State came from the Raptors 905 and went directly to the rack there and cashed in. Ooh, all kinds of time for Joplin. Just to shade off a little frustration there from Joplin, who liked the look of that one. Eddie, rhythm dribble, and that's good. And just like that, we're all tied. The other coach wants a timeout. It's that kind of ball game.
Oh, yeah, you're allowing guys to get to the slot, find the laces on the basketball, and bury it from range. No, Dave Gaviro's not having any of that. Get in here right now, and let's fix this before we lose this week.
Jarrell Eddie with 5 triples, 18 points in his CEBL debut against Montreal on Friday, a game in which the Vancouver Bandits came back from 22 down to pick up the win, a big boost in their push for top spot in the West, getting them to 12-7 coming in. Now the teams gather at their respective bench areas and organize. We're just over 3.5 minutes away from the target score window. Calgary looking to win 3 consecutive games in the season series between these teams.
Shot for shot right now, and it seems like whenever someone's trying to pull away, the defense of the opposing team is what keeps them in it. It was a great job, essentially, out of the third quarter by that Calgary backcourt to kind of stretch that lead out. But you're seeing a couple possessions in a row where Vancouver was able to buckle down defensively and go on the other end and knock down a couple threes. Just like that, it's a brand new ball game.
Really interesting, and I think it speaks to the parity in the CEBL. You look at the standings, you see Vancouver 12-7, you see Calgary 5-14, and on paper you say, well, let's be honest, that doesn't look like much of a game. And we are getting an outstanding game. We talked about it off the top. Everything's a playoff game now because these teams are all focused on trying to get to the dance under this new format.
Yeah, exactly. Again, you got those records that are so opposite of each other, and you're expecting something to go out of the, out of the books of a blowout. And sure enough, no, it's not the case. You already know the parity is on par, like you said, with the entire league. You can forget records at this point. Just go out there and get to playing.
All even as we get back to it. Comba looked to the perimeter, tried to bounce one there for Patterson, and the timing wasn't quite right. And Vancouver will take over. 11 turnovers in the game for Calgary, and they averaged 12.1 per game so far this season. That's the second fewest in the league. Vancouver with the fewest, and Vancouver's had 9 turnovers so far in this matchup. Eddie, pocket pass inside. Samuel gets in and gets fouled.
And that's the move you want right there for Jarrell Eddie. If Ty Samuel's going to get you a nice little VHO action, make sure to get it back to him on the move and finish through contact. Ty Samuel is waking up in the second half, and it's going to be up to this Calgary defense to provide some kind of resistance.
And now the 3rd foul of the game on Javante Brown. Javante's got 3. Callum Swanton-Roger, the other big, back from injury, has 3. And Samuel goes to the foul line. Lead has changed in this ball game 20 times. Parolin coming up with it to the perimeter. Samuel there, so dynamic. He's all over the place. He'll score here, but the foul is called as he gets to the bucket.
Chases down his own miss, saves the basketball, cuts back to the basket, and once again gets a 3-point opportunity. 2025 Canadian Player of the Year, showing you why right here. This is why you can rely on a guy like Ty Samuel to keep your team in the ball game. Hard-nosed play, never giving up on it as well, and making sure to execute.
Joplin tagged with the foul there. Samuel trying to make them pay. That one around and out, and coming up with it. Swanton Rogers swarmed. He's going to try and hold on. Does well to keep it moving. Marlon Johnson into the action. Finds Ruggsy. Miller Moore slows up. Wants to settle things down. Value the possession. Make the most of it. But the Bandits now in front by 4. Comba knocked out of his hands. Tried to win it back. Foul is called. And it'll go against Matthew Comba.
And that's Ty Samuel once again. He's the one who popped that ball loose. Perimeter defense doing everything here today, Sam.
Just past the 7-minute mark here in the 4th quarter. The Surge with 3 team fouls in the quarter. Just one on Vancouver. Samuel. Joyner going to work on the opposite number 1. Little help there from Comba. Bounce to Parolin. They can buy Eddie, who doesn't need a lot of room, and that's what I mean.
Yeah, Jarrell Eddie's got that in his bag. Contested threes are nothing for the veteran, and he knocks that one, and that is major for the Bandits.
And all of a sudden, it's a 7-point lead for Vancouver, their biggest lead of the night. Time for the Surge to reel him back in again. Cheney to the corner. Comba wide open for 3.
You bet! Comba, one thing is for certain is he's going to knock down the 3. With your Calgary, you may want to facilitate that a couple more times, because if Vancouver's not going to come see him, that's way too easy for him.
Second triple of the game for the veteran Comba. He's got 10 points. 79-75, Samuel. And that's going to go the other way.
They're going to say you got the arm out on that one. Carl Artis is going to say you cannot swim hook like you just did right there on Swanton Rogers. That one in the view of the official, and we're going the other way.
Tyrese Samuel, what an athlete though. I mean, he is something to behold. 6'8", 240, handles it like a guard, plays underneath, shoot everywhere. I mean, what do you do? It's almost unplayable sometimes.
Exactly. There's nothing he can't do when he's on the floor. Not an easy check is Ty Samuel.
Headed to the top league in France. Inside, here's Ruggsy!
In a minute since we've seen a baseline cut from Miller Moore, and once again, Ruggsy Miller Moore is going to be the one to kick down the back door. Great finish right there.
Lead trimmed to 2, and the defense digging in. Look at Marlon Johnson go to work. Parolin finds it. Still 10 seconds to shoot, going hard against Swanton Rogers, digging in, mask and all, gets his hands up, and the Surge get the ball back. Big defensive stand on the rookie right in the middle of it. Cheney making sure to make the most of this. Gets it to Comba. Comba wants the 3. And makes the 3!
Wanted it badly right there at MK, and he knew he was putting that up. Another clean contest from Tyrese Samuel. No matter. Matthew Comba's got the jumper going from long range.
Comba with that look on his face, like, give me the basketball.
Yeah, he's going to get to a spot right here, and it's not easy to go up and over against a guy as big as Ty Samuel, regardless of how easy MK makes it look. Boy, oh boy, when you can rely on Comba to bury a triple, keeps you in games like this and gets you the lead as well.
So smooth, so simple looking, and the Surge, who were down 7 minutes ago, down by the largest margin they faced in the game, now lead at 80-79.
And it's plays like this that open the door for the Surge. This is a team that needs to run and get on that rim. And when Sean Miller Moore can bust up defenses by finishing with baseline drives, you see what that does for everyone else. Taxing that defense and gives some wide open 3 opportunities.
Feels like we're repeating ourselves, but every time the Surge go to work at the defensive end, they end up with energy at the offensive end. I mean, it's undeniable at this point, and every team says it. It's hard to do, I know, but when the Surge do it, they give themselves a chance against good teams like Vancouver. Beat them twice not so long ago, beat Winnipeg twice not so long ago, and just coming up with the energy and the commitment to pay attention to those details.
That's all it takes, and that can be tough sometimes as a player, man. You want to be on the offensive end, you want to finish, and you don't want to necessarily stand in there for charges or have to deal with Ty Samuel or James Karnick on the inside, throwing elbows and moving their way. But if you can buckle down and create a miss and get going the other way, everything else will come a whole lot easier.
So the timeout is complete. The players are getting back in place. And we're just about down the stretch here at Winsport Event Center. Vancouver trying to secure a home playoff game. They need a win here. And a Saskatoon loss to Edmonton. only control half of that story. Right now, trailing by 1. Calgary 80, Vancouver 79. Samuel puts it on the floor, picked off by Calgary. Here comes Cheney. Cheney calls his own number and nails it.
How about a transition triple? Armani Cheney's got it in the bag right there. And that's what you want out of a timeout. A consecutive play, execution down to a T and a finish.
Cheney's 3rd triple of the game. He's got 13. Surge up by 4. Bandits trying to trim it in a hurry. Swanton Roger again competing hard. Missed 2 games with that broken nose. Gets the mask on and right back at it. Miller Moore to the corner. He's not going to force it. Let's see, Miller Moore has Parolin in front of him. Gets Parolin going a little bit. You said, oh, I think Parolin did too, but the Surge need to move the ball, and they will here. Swanton Roger from short range. Just couldn't get it to go his way. Now the foul before the shot. And things are stopped inside the final 4 minutes. So the Surge will have the advantage beginning target score time. And they have a winning record when leading going into target score time. We'll see what they can do when we come back. You're watching the CEBL live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Next bucket wins. Target score time is the best time of a game. The energy, the drama,
that anything can happen. Oh my goodness! Can you believe this guy?
Big players step up in big time.
He is cooking.
Well, to the surprise of nobody, a hotly contested one tonight in Calgary between the Surge and the Bandits. And the Surge have found a way to surge on top.
Yeah, a major fourth quarter outburst here on the back of Armani Cheney. He came up with a huge steal and a transition triple that really popped the lid here off of Winsport. The question becomes continuing that same trajectory in the target score time where historically we've seen the Calgary Surge stray away from what got them there. So we'll see if this target score time is just a little bit different.
Trying to be patient, trying to stick with the game plan. See if they can see this one out. Surge looking to improve to 6-14. Stay in the playoff chase with a home-and-home coming up against Edmonton. Bandits at 12-7. 5 seconds to shoot it. Joyner on the move. Tough one from long range, and how does he do it?
That's perfect defense right there from the Surge. 2 bodies thrown at Jarkel Joyner, and he's still able to knock down the fadeaway too.
Joyner with 17. Whistle blows, and this one looks like it's going to go the other way and shaken up a little bit. Swanton Roger. Swanton Roger, remember, coming in with the broken nose. Took a bump to the head there in discomfort.
I tell you, when you go up against a guy like James Carnick, be prepared for some physicality. He's always going to bring it to you, and Swanton Roger is more than ready for the challenge.
Says something he's on the court at this stage of the game. Cheney, Johnson underneath. Swanton!
I think he's okay, Mitch. I think Cal is okay over the top one more time. How about that one from Big 35?
Second bucket of the night, up to 4 points. The Surge lead it by 3. Brown pressured. Working against Ruggsy Miller-Moore now. Ruggsy right in his face. Great defense. Just a tremendous shot.
That's exactly it. Another great defensive stand here. Outdone with even better shooting, as this time it's Brown getting it to him.
Ruggsy's reaction after the shot, just want to respect that pass intended for Comba. and just a little too hot to handle. Surge turn it over. Surge 7 from victory. One more needed for the Bandits to take this one. Joyner working quickly against Johnson. Johnson got a hand to it. Swan Roger got a hand to it. And they're going to say this is out of bounds against Vancouver.
Good rim protection right there from Johnson Jr. Slamming the door on Joyner, and just like that, we're going the other way. It's time to make the Bandits pay with good execution on the offensive side.
Cheney joined by Johnson, Comba, Miller-Moore, and Swanton Roger for the home team. Fans locked in. Great atmosphere at Winsport. Miller-Moore fakes the three, drives, puts it up, floats and finishes.
Real easy, like stop on a dime and just get you an easy push from about 6 feet out. It's Miller-Moore giving you a score.
Joyner trying to answer back. He got too much room to operate and recognized immediately.
Yeah, miscommunication there when it came to rotations for the Calgary Surge. And Jarkel Joyner, as he's shown you all game long, is not going to let you live down any cross signals. Easy to.
Cheney sizing things up. Cheney with 13 in the game. Also has 8 assists. And the Surge strike.
Way too easy. Around the screen, defense decides to collapse, and Cheney says, oh, wow, where have you been? I have got this all day long.
So the Surge coming from the win. The Bandits know that. Marlon Johnson wants the basketball. The extra effort is superb, but the Bandits will retain it. Marlon Johnson, a defensive demon.
On the floor and at the rim. Can't teach that kind of play from Marlon Johnson Jr. You just got to have that in you. And the dunk king, Marlon Johnson Jr., has got that in his DNA.
Well, you don't play professionally into your 30s unless you got something special to offer, and he certainly does. Outstanding for Marlon Johnson. Well, we have a moment. The teams are catching their breath in the middle of this outstanding target score. Let's get you some info about what's ahead. Thursday, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. 4-game season series split at 1 game apiece. It's a big matchup. Top 2 teams in the Cal Tire Western Conference battle for home court advantage throughout the Western Conference playoffs. It is Vancouver and Winnipeg at Canada Life Center. As for the Calgary Surge, a battle of Alberta is just around the corner. It's Edmonton here on Friday night to begin the home and home, 7:30 Mountain Time. Stingers took the first 2 meetings. They'll get together again on the weekend. Getting ready to get back underway here at Winsport Event Center. Surge 90, the Bandits 86. And the target not too far away for the Calgary Surge. You said it, partner coming in. Can they keep their heads? Can they stick to the game plan? So far, all right. Got to see it out.
You do. A great target score time here for the Surge to this point. But as you just said, job's not done, especially against a Vancouver team that has shown the ability to consistently hang around regardless of score disparity right here. We've got to come out, vice grips on defense, and see if we can get it done.
Back underway. Joyner in possession. Bugsy Miller-Moore trying to catch up, make it tough. Joyner, great change of pace, puts the shot up, and it's off target, and the Surge have it with a chance to close it out. The fans are on their feet. Cheney takes a deep breath. Joyner locks in. Cheney driving. Has to back it up. Cheney now to the corner. The Surge working from there. Marlon Johnson. Yes! Yes! Marlon Johnson and the Surge have defeated the Vancouver Bandits.
Marlon Johnson Jr. laying it on the floor on defense, creating turnovers, protecting the rim, and knocking down game-winning triples. Just another day in the life of the major event. Unbelievable finish here tonight.
Just talked about Johnson's ability to compete on the defensive end. What does he do? He gets a chance to be special at the offensive end, and he makes it count. Marlon Johnson just superb as the Surge find a way against Vancouver 3 consecutive times.
Come on now. And Ty Samuel, as you can see, did not make it easy, but calm, poised, Johnson Jr. is able to take a sidestep and create just enough room to knock down a 3-1, a way to win right in front of the Vancouver Bandits bench.
Marlon Johnson, guess how many points he had in the game tonight?
3? Is that what you say?
That's all he needed. Marlon Johnson, what a defensive performance. And then, as I said, he got that opportunity and he took full advantage. What a ball game this was tonight. These two teams knew what was on the line. They both showed up. They laid it on the line. And in the end, the Surge squeezed it out in a contest that saw the lead change 22 times. The game was tied on 10 occasions. But in the end, Calgary wins for a 5th time in 6 games. The Surge are now 5-3 when leading going into target score time. Now, after the game, we always want to hear from the stars, so let's get to the court. Our star, Cammy, is standing by with one of the standouts of the game tonight.
Actually, we're here with Armani Chaney, but he's actually rallying the troops right now. This is what leadership looks like, folks. You got him? You ready to go? We gotta hold up here. It do take a village, everybody.
Come on, Dave.
Well, Armani, as everyone makes their way over here, I mean, a 3rd win against a top team in the West. What turned the momentum for you guys?
I think we just had a different attitude today. I think we feel like we dropped 1 2 days ago, so we definitely should have won. And you know, everybody came in today with good energy, good vibes, and came out with the win.
After Sunday, there was talk about keeping the foot on the gas pedal. What did you guys do to maintain intensity start to finish tonight?
Sash just woke us up. We won 4 in a row, and we thought we arrived, and we didn't. So today we came out hungry from the jump and started to shoot around, and the result was a win.
What do you hope you were able to show? Those are some pretty clutch threes you were sinking.
That's what I do. I shoot the ball, but I feel like today my facilitating was elite.
I mean, we see you trying to get all your teammates. Everybody contributes, but what's it like seeing a guy like Callum with the mask on and a busted nose coming out and playing some of those hard physical minutes?
Shows he's resilient. I mean, he missed like a week. You know, happened in Winnipeg. He broke his nose, so shows he's resilient. He was thirsty to play. Seemed like he didn't miss a beat, so we needed that, obviously.
How do you carry this momentum into a critical set against Edmonton this weekend?
You know, we got to put this behind us, and, you know, we got to understand the task at hand. We're still trying to make a fight to, you know, get back in the playoffs, and it's almost there, and, you know, we just got to maintain the camaraderie that we're having and, you know, continue to do what we're doing.
Thanks for this. Go celebrate.
Thank you, thank you.
Armani Chaney rallying his boys after a clutch performance. Mitch and Jermaine will wrap this up around the corner. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Welcome back to Calgary, where the Surge are winners tonight over the Vancouver Bandits. We started the program talking about how every game down the stretch feels like a playoff game, and this certainly had that feel from the beginning, and it carried through right to the very end. What a night.
Oh, unbelievable job here by the Calgary Surge, and they showed you what they're made of. When you go up against the league's best and are able to lock down defensively, take care of business in target time, and get out of here on a high note, Mitch, that lets you know what you're made of. Regardless of the record or standings how they are now, you can rely on the fact that you have what it takes to beat the best in this league.
Bandits scoring 99 points a game coming in. They're held to 86 as Calgary wins at 93-86. They were certainly made to work. It was a physical game. It was a demanding game. And when it looked like Vancouver might pull away in the ball game, the Surge found a way to get back on top, and now they're still very much alive in the race for a playoff spot.
Absolutely. A couple defensive stops and finishing, executing on the offensive side as well, and that's all it took. And again, Mitch, you're doing this against the West's best, the league's best in the Vancouver Bandits. 3 consecutive wins against them. You can't tell me that you can't be in that Calgary Surge locker room and feel that you can beat any single team in this league. Huge, huge morale-boosting win tonight for Calgary.
Calgary 6-14 now. Edmonton in that last playoff spot is at 8-12. And who do they face next? The Edmonton Stingers, a home and home. Speaking of games and what's coming up in the CEBL, we want to tell you about what's on the menu tomorrow. It's the Shooting Stars of Scarborough with the league's best record taking on Ottawa, 7:30 Eastern. It's the final home game of the season for those Blackjacks. You know they'll be up for the fight. They've been looking good of late. Back half of a home and home as Ottawa won on Saturday. Some bad blood there. Ottawa leads the season series 2-1. It's a possible playoff preview. So much good basketball to watch down the stretch this CEBL season. Well, it's all over in Calgary tonight. The Surge win at 93-86 against the Vancouver Bandits and remain in the hunt for a playoff spot. For everybody who works to bring you the action, thanks for joining us, and so long till next time. I'm Mitch Peacock.
Knock 'em out the world, knock 'em out the ground with your pen top, time for some action.